Alright, so here we have a couple things. Three of the things I'm a couple days late on. This one came out yesterday. We got the Resonator Combat Showcase for GALBRENA. Also over here we have the Stars Intertwine, info on her and her weapon, and then a post right here on the Wuthering Waves website for her. So let's go ahead and get into it. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's see what we got.
GALBRENA, ready to join the hunt.
Oh, there's 6 things.
Let's settle the score. By my trigger, enter Hell's Gate.
Scorched to
Rise from Hellfire. Tainted Hellfire.
devour
That looks so good.
Who's my next prey?
Did you see the Saints painting? It really opened up their coffers.
The usual.
This is the upfront. Finish the job
Just
and
tell me, is it a worthy opponent?
So she's like a bounty hunter and stuff. That seems pretty cool. Yeah, she looks really good. I love the transition, and I just love when they do animation. And then their transitions from animation into that wasn't even in game. That was a transition from animation to like artwork. Yeah, like that was really good.
GALBRENA, ready?
I love that. That was great. Her moveset also looks really, really good, and I love her ult animation.
Enter Hell's Gate.
So good.
scorched to
But anyway, moving on. Next we have this one. GALBRENA, the Fiend of Ever-Burning Flame, the Discord Slayer. Call me what you want, just point me to the monsters.
GALBRENA, the Fiend of Ever-Burning Flame, the Discord Slayer. Call me what you want. Just point me to the monsters.
She looks so good. Oh, that's an idol. I really like that idol. Convening animation. They better let us fly with those wings. There's that. That's great. Up next, we have Profile Reveal, Infernal Descent, GALBRENA, Cold and Decisive. She is a Discord Slayer who hunts across Solaris, and the same Fiend of Ever-Burning Flame spoken of in whispers. So there's her card. Here you have Fusion, Pistol, main damage dealer, heavy attack damage. I thought she did echo skill damage. Okay. So there's that. Next you got her weapon, Lux and Umbra. I love the contrast between the two. From darkness she seizes power, layering sins upon herself, to hunt, to kill, to deliver a relentless fatal blow to all evil. From the light she falls, with her vows etched in her mind, from deceased for living, for her pistol's true target. At level 90, 587 attack, 48 crit damage. I feel like that's low for a crit damage weapon. But here, let's look at our weapon skill. Attack is increased by 12%. Upon dealing echo skill damage, gain 24% heavy attack damage amplification for 6 seconds. So you just straight up get someone's outro for heavy attack for 6 seconds within her weapon. Okay. Upon dealing heavy attack damage, gain 24% echo skill damage. Okay, again, wow, that's damage amplification on each attack is capped at 24,000. While both effects are active, dealing damage ignores defense. Wow, that is a stacked weapon for sure. That's attack, that's heavy attack damage, that's echo skill damage, and defense ignore. That's crazy. That's something else. That kind of makes sense as to why that I feel like that crit damage isn't that high, because that's really really good. Now moving on here, we have this whole page here. Affiliation unknown, attribute fusion. Okay. The way of the gunfighter. Many thought Galbrena only used guns to fight, a misconception she never bothered to correct and exploited to her advantage. When her guns were knocked out of her hands, it was only by a deliberate choice rather than an accident. Her enemies would let their guard down and advance. When they closed in, Galbrena attacked, either by commanding the slippery serpent to fire or striking with her feathers, and even her own blood. In short, hard training and an unbreakable mind have turned her into a formidable weapon. Then why does she bother with guns? Because guns make quick work of enemies from a distance. Galbrena avoids people at all costs. Not that she doesn't know how to interact with others. Well-traveled as she is, she simply does not enjoy human contact. If she could get a discount on strangely named beverages by simply shouting their names without haggling, she would gladly do so. Discord slaying. Discord slaying is a trade that entails identifying tacit discords, locating their weaknesses, choosing the right weapon, and much more. Galbrena's guns work well on most enemies, but before she wrestled them from Chimera's maw, for the longest time she crafted her own weapons. But those weapons could not withstand the power of the Dark Tide and often disintegrated. But she never gave up weaponsmithing, and went on to invent many single-use items, snares, mines, you name it. In her opinion, monsters must be put down by any means necessary. It's worth noting that although Galbrena is a decent cook, she sees food merely as fuel for the body, unlike how she deals with tacit discords. She treats all life with respect. To her, making delicious dishes out of hunted prey is the highest form of respect conceivable. That said, Galbrena doesn't care much about plating since she has no one to share her food with. That's a little sad. But she eats the tacit discords. That's I don't know how to feel about that one. Bird habits. Galbrena acquired her flame wing after devouring a particular tacit discord. At first she had a hard time getting used to flight, and her head was often bruised from crash landings. Now she feels as if she was born to fly. During the day she loiters in the sky, looking down like an eagle in search of prey. At night she perches on a high branch, resting and unruffling her feathers, which itself is also a form of weapon maintenance. Her bird-like qualities are not only a habit, but also stem from the need to keep away from people so as to not cause panic. If on a peaceful evening stroll through the woods you came across this Discord Slayer, worry not, she will not flee before you do. Or she will flee before you do. Yeah, talking about how she just flies around, there better be an option, because we've had different characters have different movement like abilities, but also especially with being able to just fly on that like saucer thing, as well as Kyun to like run on the bamboo sticks. I feel like they should let her fly. Like when we use our wings, our glider thing, instead of having that, just have her use her wings and fly. I'm not saying make it any faster, or maybe even for like the flight mechanic itself, just have her wings out instead of the ones that you use from the gadget. I feel like that'd be a pretty good addition. Who is she talking to? Weak tacit discords are absorbed as sustenance right after being devoured by Galbrena's hellfire, but powerful ones are not. Their frequencies remain inside her body. They talk during the day and invade her dreams at night, fighting her to the death over and over. What awaits them when she wakes is a trial before hellish flames. No one but Galbrena can hear the tacit discords inside her, so most people find it disturbing when they chance upon her talking to no one in particular in an accusatory tone with her eyes shut. Maybe Chimera said something inappropriate, or maybe the tacit discords within are throwing a tea party to plot their revenge. Very, very interesting. Uh, Resonance evaluation report. The subject's resonance ability shows prior contamination by the dark tide. The frequency spectrum is heavily obscured and cannot be analyzed by the Rebel method. Based on the subject's own testimony, corroborated by external sources, she is classified as a congenital resonator. Overlord class tacit discords detected within the subject's body. Testing is to be transferred to the Tethys system. All non-essential personnel are to be evacuated to designated safe zones without delay. Sample database linked, comparative analysis initiated. The subject's internal frequency confirmed, partial matches identified with known tacit discords: Chimera, Galbrina, Harpia, Dullahan, Valor, and the nameless Dreadshade. Remaining correlations pending verification. Wait, so I know she's Angel from the story. She's that she's Augusta's friend who got taken by the dark tide. So, but in all the marketing and everything, she's called Galbrina. But here it shows that one of the tacit discords she ate was Galbrina. So maybe we'll see like a kind of like a split personality type thing. Because I know Chimera, that's the, like we see him. That's a discord that we see. And then it's Galbrina. So I wonder if it'll be like a, yeah, like a personality switch. Like if these different powerful tacit discords within her can come to the forefront and talk. Like Galbrina is the discord slayer, but then again, if Galbrina was a discord slayer, maybe Galbrina was like the first one that she consumed, that Angel consumed, and then the personality of that combined was the discord slayer. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure there. That's interesting, but all identified tacit discords exhibit no hostile behavior under supervision by the subject's own frequency. Behavioral stability confirmed under high stress conditions. Final assessment, containment not advised, recommendation, routine examinations. The cause of the subject's awakening cannot be confirmed. Her innate flame, once corroded by the dark tide, decayed, but has never fully extinguished. Subsequently, it fused with the tide spawn known as Chimera, altering the flame's nature, granting her the capacity to consume other frequencies. Through this process, the subject proactively hunts tacit discords, absorbing and transforming their frequencies into her own power. At present, she is able to wield multiple tacit discord abilities in combat. For demons devoured by her flame, there are only two outcomes: purification and transformation into her own power and utter destruction. Okay, so there it shows Chimera is the first one that she consumed. Not Galbrina. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting that the tacit discords within her, one of them is named Galbrina when she's supposed to be Galbrina. Maybe she just really liked the name and didn't want the name Angel anymore. I'm not exactly sure on that. And here's a little note written in there: a walking museum of tacit discords. Can such power truly belong to a human? Worse still, it evolves. No, it's an inner empire. I saw it, an empire rising within her. Overclock diagnostic report. Resonator Galbrina has a documented history of overclocking. Maximum overclocking rating negligible. Blackshore's Bloomberg research report. Despite the immense power Miss Galbrina exhibited after overclocking, including marked transformation of both appearance and physiology, we nevertheless classify her historically maximum overclocking rating as negligible. This assessment must be understood in context. Her resonance ability was once corrupted by the dark tide, leaving her almost entirely depleted of her resonance ability. Her resonator so diminished to achieve overclocking at all, to move from deficient to surplus from absence to presence, is nothing short of miraculous. Traditionally, overclocking has been defined as a state that exhausts the mind and body, signifying the dominance of destructive tendencies over regenerative ones within resonators. Galbrina's case, however, compels us to reconsider this definition. In her, overclocking did not manifest as deterioration, but as a signal of rebirth. It suggests that the phenomenon may be closely tied to the will of the resonator, and that, if properly guided, overclocking could potentially yield constructive outcomes, transforming into a power that resonators could one day learn to wield with intent. Important note: all research personnel are strictly prohibited from attempting by any method to replicate Miss Galbrina's overclocking method. Any such action, once discovered, will result in immediate containment measures. So, okay, so I know in the story, to my knowledge, I could be wrong. There's 3 that have overclock. That would be Camellia, that would be Jinshi, and Cantarella, I believe. I just completely blanked there for a second. But maybe this could be a way for them to buff older units. I also think some other characters have overclock, like I think Mortifi and Sanhua. But I'm not exactly sure on the lore on everyone who's overclocked or hasn't. But I feel like this could be a like a nudge or like an in as in lore explanation as to character buffs. Because I think a lot of the 1.0 characters, especially once 3.0 starts to roll around, is going to be in need of some type of buff because we're going to get even more of this like status effects within 3.0, I assume, with like Havoc Bane and freeze and stuff like that. So I, at least tweaking some of the numbers for some of the 1.0 cast, I feel like would be decent. If like I feel like a character like Jinshi is doing pretty well still. I think nowadays she has quite a wind up time to her damage as compared to other units, but still very good damage. So maybe if at least bringing up the 1.0 cast to like Jinshi level, right? And Jinshi could be the floor for um like the 1.0 characters. I feel like that wouldn't be something that's too bad. But that's just probably me pulling shit out of my ass. Now here's Galbrina again, looking so fine. Galbrina is calm and confident, able to identify her enemy's weakness in the heat of combat with pinpoint accuracy, even when all hope is lost. Raven and Discord Slayer, a plume, long and dark blue, cascades from Galbrina's right shoulder. Soft feathers decorate her lower back, and a forked tail of her clothing resembles a pair of wings. She is a raven of death. A falling black feather presages her arrival and the death of her prey. Chimera, which is that tacit discord right there. In Galbrina's body resides a special tacit discord named Chimera that fights alongside her when called upon. Most of the time, Chimera wishes Galbrina would do what she is told, that is, bring destruction and death to those around her. Anecdotes, cherished item, sweet dreams, a handicraft made by Galbrina, woven from her own feathers, along with carefully chosen common materials. Each element carries a quiet wish. For Galbrina, a peaceful night's sleep is a rare luxury. She is often disturbed by the tacit discords within her, forced to clash with them again and again in dreams. Within dreams, she once tried to find a way to break free, hoping this crafted item would guard her fleeting moments of rest, but results were often disappointing. Yet something changed when she began giving them to children. The craftwork revealed its true power in their dreams. Whenever a nightmare struck, a white-clad lady would appear to drive the monsters away, guiding the children out of the darkness and watching over them until dawn. Chimera explained to Galbrina that the feathers carried her frequency, allowing them to repel nightmare tacit discords, but against ones already dwelling within her, they could do nothing. The thought brought her a quiet sadness, but also a quiet relief. At the very least, she wasn't destined to only bring fear. That's pretty cool. There you have her favorite food, her worries, some of her thoughts. I'm not going to go through all those. Here we have the character menu. Looks so good. Idle animation. Yeah, I love that one when she plays with like the bullet between her fingers. Convene animation. You got her liberation, which is so good. So this snake just slithering up her back, going around her arm, so good. And there's her artwork. So yeah, I can't wait for it to come out. I have like nowhere near enough saved on my main, so she might be someone I pull on my alt account. I do have 2 wuwa accounts. Alt account is usually for situations like this where a character comes out and I'm like, damn, I don't really have enough for them on my main. I'm trying to like build this specific team on my main. Bad thing being, I already have like the premium fusion team, and her damage doesn't go along with like the outro buffs and the buffs that the current fusion team like already gives, right? Like I don't feel like she's a great replacement to slot Cheng Li out and put her into that team, if that makes sense. I don't know how that would go. Maybe she does good in that team, but I feel like she's needs a team of her own doing heavy attack damage and echo skill damage. But anyway, that's enough going on and rambling. This video has been going on for quite a while now, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.